Hello fellow Widener students, and welcome to the wonderful city of St. Francis, Minnesota. St. Francis, Minnesota is located 289 miles from the Canadian border in the upper Midwest. Currently, the largest city that is closest to me would be 58 miles just southeast of Minneapolis and St. Paul. St. Francis, Minnesota has 7,466 permanent residents, and the city of St. Francis is located on the Rum River. It is 24 miles wide. However, most of the homes here do have acreage. The academic level of the students in St. Francis is above the national average, and the median household income is over $70,000 a year. With that being said, the average age of the people who live in St. Francis are 38 years of age, and there's only a 3.4% level in unemployment. St. Francis takes much pride in its safety and security of the people. They do state that we are building safer tomorrows by protecting and serving the citizens of today. However, like every city, there is crime, and St. Francis does have this as well. St. Francis is not without major crime, but the overall crime rate is 40% lower than the comparisons of the Minnesota average, and it is also 48% lower than the national average. Specifically regarding those violent crimes in St. Francis, the rate is 61% lower compared to the Minnesota average and 75% lower than the national average, with the highest rate of being 80% of the crime is due to theft. St. Francis does take pride in its town, although it is very small. We do have regular farmers markets, department stores that are located on Main Street, and the city buses which charge $2 each way to transport you to and from. This also includes during the state fair time. They will take you down to the other counties to participate in the state fair. The community is thriving with involvement, and we have Friday night car shows from June to September. There's monthly cultural activities with powwows and other activities such as the Festival of Nations. The relationships within the community are built upon structure and national attention to our military, as well as law enforcement and community involvement. St. Francis does have a very large boy and Girl Scout club, as well as doing your regular VFW raffles for meat. On Fridays, St. Francis has a church known as Trinity Lutheran, which is where I also work, and Trinity has the largest food distribution and food bank in the state of Minnesota. This is called Manna Market. We also have a community garden where all of the children in the community prepare and grow all of their own vegetables and bring those to Manna Market to give them back to the poor. We also participate monthly in a Habitat for Humanities in our own community as well as neighboring communities. In St. Francis, there is also HUD housing, known as Abbey Fields, that currently has 500 apartments in it, as well as a women's homeless shelter known as the St. Francis House. Nurturing the whole person is very important as well to the St. Francis citizens. There is many community involvement organizations within St. Francis, as well as hospitals, dentists, chiropractors, and multiple gyms, eye care specialists, and as well as restaurants. The predictability that you will find within St. Francis would be every morning at 7 a.m. the flag is raised at the local commons. By 8 a.m. you will find all the senior citizens attend McDonald's to have their local breakfast, and on the first Thursday we do have a town hall meeting. At the Trinity Church that I previously spoke of, every hour on the hour you will hear the church bells ring. On Wednesdays, a lot of the senior citizens, like myself, will be at the community garden as well as doing community cleanup within the Main Street area. From May to October, you will also find that St. Francis Park does host the movies from 9 p.m. until about 11:30. Some of the regular faces that you will see around St. Francis are going to be Herman. He's our baker, as well as Flo's Hair Design. She's one of the best. Pastor Vaughn is the pastor of the Trinity Lutheran Church. Some of the Saints basketball players you will see earning their trophies and awards while they're cheered on by the mayor and some of their teachers. In St. Francis, there are quite a few churches, as well as different religions that are within the community, as well as opportunities galore for our youth. The main religion within St. Francis is going to be Catholic or Lutheran. Some of the personal issues and interests of the youth are going to be sports, with the number one being hockey. We are a big hockey town, and we do support some of the other sports as well. One of the things that is very important and close to our hearts is promoting cultural diversity, as well as tolerance and alternate living styles. We do have a lesbian, gay, and transsexual community within our community as well, and we all support them and teach children from a young age to have tolerance and accept those that are different from themselves, and understanding that lifestyles are different and we are all one. So why don't you take some time, come over and experience Little Minnesota, Minnesota Nice, as I'm sure you've heard in the past, and pay yourself a visit to St. Francis, Minnesota. Thanks so much, and I look forward to reading your presentations in the future.